Good evening, y'all. How you doing? Been a good day for me. Nice and quiet, though, which is always a bonus. Tonight I'm gonna be talking about my second husband. I met him in the late spring of 97. He was younger than I was. And I had never dated anybody younger than myself, but he was in the Navy. He was a good person. He seemed to have his shit together, responsible, just the kind of person that, you trust. And, we dated for a while. And then I moved in with him, I think, after about 6 months. And, even my closest friends, saw that he was a good person and, really had his act together and was going to be the kind of person that would be good for me. So we got married in, I believe it was June. Oh, sorry. June of 98. Now, 2 years before, I had to have my ovaries removed my cervix and uterus removed due to endometriosis. And right after he and I got married, my doctor told me I needed to have everything else, which was the ovaries and tubes, removed because of endometriosis. For our wedding, as a present, his sister and her boyfriend gave us a puppy. It was a pit bull, which I didn't have any worries about it at all, because I know that dogs aren't a certain breed of dog isn't automatically bad or vicious. It's the way you train them. So, we didn't have any issues with that. So I had to have my surgery, which they went in. They didn't go in laparoscopically. They actually cut my belly open to take everything out. So there I was at home, trying to heal from a abdominal surgery. And, I'm having to deal with this dog, which I hadn't been around many dogs since I was a kid. And my biggest concern when we were given the puppy was that, because he was in the Navy, then it was all going to be left up to me to deal with, walking him and cleaning up messes and trying to train it and just all that crap. And he swore to me, no, he'd take care of everything. And, we had a fenced in yard, so he'd be fine to just let him out there to use the bathroom and bring him in. And all these promises, and, you know, then we get the puppy, and ain't nothing at all like what he promised, you know. He didn't train it. Every time he was let outside to go to the bathroom, he broke open the fence and would get out into the neighborhood, and I'd have to go find it. I hated that damn dog. And the fact that, one, I had severe back problems, which caused me pain all the time. And then two, I was recovering from an abdominal surgery. And this dog was strong. So every time I was around him, it hurt me to no end. So I really did. I hated that damn dog. But, you know, after we got married and I had my surgery, you know, everything was fine. Until I was fully healed from it. And after that, it was a complete 180. He drank almost continuously while he was home. And he was a mean drunk. He treated the boys horribly. But I always did what I could to have him direct his anger and hostility towards me instead of them. I would, you know, let them know, okay, he's coming home. Go in your rooms and play and just be quiet. Don't aggravate him. Don't do anything. But anything and everything would set the man off. You know, the kids were 9 and 5, 9 and 10 and 6, something like that. And here we had this very strong dog, and he would make the boys walk the dog. And then he would get angry and get verbally abusive and, you know, show aggressions towards the boys when the dog would get loose. I had to stop working right after we got married because of my back. So, you know, I was home 24/7. I had some friends, but not a lot. You know, no family in the area that was nearby. You know, my brother was in Virginia Beach, but that was a 45-minute drive, and we only had one vehicle, so, you know, me going anywhere was not really a viable option. And it's really amazing to know how slowly and subtly a person like that breaks you down. You know, it starts off verbally, of course. Oh, you're nothing without me, and you'll never find anybody that loves you like I do. You can't even take care of yourself. You can't survive without me. I mean, just an endless barrage of being put down and told and made to feel that you're worthless without them, and that they're the only ones that will ever want you because you're just not worthy of anybody else but them. And it happens so slowly, and you don't even realize it at the time that it's happening. Yeah, and then along with that is the isolation. They slowly start cutting you off from your friends and family. And it also happens over time. It doesn't happen, oh, you can't see them now. It's, oh, well, we don't have time now. And, weeks become months, and it happens before you know it. And this went on from mid 98 until early 2000. The verbal abuse was constant. The emotional abuse was constant as well. The physical, it was infrequent, and he always apologized afterwards. And because this was my second marriage, I didn't want to fail again. I really wanted to make it work. And I thought if I just loved him enough that he would change. That if I did everything right and was the perfect wife, then he wouldn't act that way. And this one night in February, he got really drunk. And he was so drunk that instead of going into the bathroom to go pee there, he opened up our bedroom closet door and started peeing there. I tried to get him to realize he was not in the bathroom. And that's when he threw me onto the ground and started choking me. It seemed to last forever, but luckily it was only 10, 15 seconds. But it scared the fuck out of me. And I after that happened, I think I barricaded me and the kids in their bedroom. And then the next morning he went to work like nothing had happened. And I called the cops. I had him arrested and taken to jail. At that point, his command was called, and they had to go get him from the jail and and get him to their command on the boat. And that was pretty much the end of the marriage because, you know, he had told me if I ever called the cops on him, he would be gone. You know, that'd be that. And I knew what I was doing, but I knew I had to. Ended up, he was, you know, he was disciplined by the command. He had to go to anger management classes, you know, all this other stuff. And I have no idea whether it helped him, whether he stayed in the military or not. We filed for divorce, luckily, because we didn't have any kids or anything. We only had to wait the mandatory 6-month period. I think we had one court appearance, and you know, that was it. It was done and over. But the damage was done. Because of it, I can not wear tight clothing around my neck or necklaces that are very tight, because it does bring up those memories, and I start having a panic attack. And you know, almost every day I wonder how deeply his actions affected the boys, but they have told me time and again, it mainly just reiterated to them the kind of person they knew they never wanted to be. Because they saw how he abused me, and they hated it. So therefore, it changed the way they thought and made them recognize that that's a wrong way to treat a woman. And I'm thankful of that. I did vow to myself to never let a man treat me that way again. Because I didn't deserve that kind of treatment. I didn't do anything wrong. But I got out of it. I ended up, you know, because I couldn't work. Once the lease to our apartment was up, I moved back here, back home with my mom and dad. That was in summer of 2000. We moved back here, and you know, the boys at the time, they really enjoyed being out here. Unfortunately, my mom was as yet undiagnosed, but she was fighting bipolar disorder. She was manic depressive. And, you know, at the time, we didn't know why she acted the way she did. We just knew she did. But during that time that my boys and I were here, she had several episodes. And unfortunately, those episodes did scare the kids. And they told their dad about it, which he in turn started proceedings to try to get custody of the boys. And we had to go through, social service interviews and home visits. And I mean, it ensued a big old mess after that. But the one good thing is Mom was able to actually get help, and was finally diagnosed. But in a 3-year time span, the boys had gone through so much. And for a long time, I hated myself for what they went through. You always say, oh, well, why didn't she just get out? I would never let somebody treat me that way. But when you're beaten down and all hope has been taken away, you don't see any escape. And you start to think you deserve that treatment because it wouldn't be happening if you didn't deserve it. So, when you hear stories about women that get subjected to the physical and emotional and mental abuse, don't judge them. You don't know the hell they've been through. You don't know the lack of options they may be facing. And sometimes they stay because they are so afraid of the repercussions of leaving, and that can be very terrifying. And until you're in this situation, you just don't know. But every one of us makes choices that others will disagree with. But until somebody's been in your situation and walked in your shoes, you can't judge them and really understand what they went through. So just try to be a little more understanding and show some compassion, because it does happen all too frequently, and it's devastating to those involved. And getting enough courage to leave or to have them arrested. Sometimes it'll take every ounce of strength you've got to do it. And I was able to find that strength to do that, even though I had no income, nothing, very few actual physical belongings. I had very little. But I made it out with my boys, and I'm thankful that we made it out when we did, because I do know, had I not called the cops then, things would have kept escalating. And that's not something I really ever want to think about. So I'm done for the night. I'm extremely grateful. I've never heard from him since our divorce was final. I have no desire. Damn. Fruit fly. I have no desire to see or hear from him ever again. I don't even speak his name. It's not that he has power over me. I just don't feel the need to have that come out. But I thank you for listening. I hope you all have a very, very good night. And I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. And we'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.